So New York Mayor Eric Adams, he's in the news because he wants to do something to me that's even worse than stop and frisk. And we know stop and frisk was a horrible thing. I want you to listen to this short clip of Eric Adams and what he wants to do to handle the homeless population. And I want to talk to black people a little bit of how this is going to be used to even just target you, not just homeless. Let's roll this short clip.
And we want to be clear. We don't want us to walk away from this conference because someone is sitting on the train talking to themselves. They're going to be committed, because then we're going to commit us all. So that's not what we're saying. We're saying we're going to an accumulation of factors that is going to make a trained professional determine that this person is in danger to themselves because they can't take care of their basic needs.
So Eric Adams wants to use the police to supposedly get all the homeless people out off the streets of New York. I was recently in New York City about 2 weeks ago. There is a lot of people on the street. It is. But those people need help. They don't need to be gaffed up by the police. But let's go on and talk about what Eric Adams, y'all Democrat brother, wanted to do. So he has a directive that allows police officers and emergency medical workers to conduct involuntary removals. And say of people who appear, listen to the word, who appear, meaning it's my opinion. Understand? Who appear, not actually, but appear to be mentally ill and are conducting themselves in a manner likely to result in serious harm to self or others. So you're going to have the police in New York running around determining who has mental illness, and they do not have any kind of education in that. And you're going to involuntarily remove people because you think they're going to harm themselves and they haven't done anything. Let's continue. The directive, which Adams announced on that Tuesday, also allows authorities to remove anyone who displays an inability to meet basic living needs. It says anyone. Now, y'all know good and well this is going to be used to target black folk. And I'm talking about black folk who's not homeless. Because remember, they can say, oh, this black person that's telling me about their rights, oh, now I'm about to lock them up now because they got mental illness. You see where they about to go with that? Black folk, y'all better be raising hell about what this man is talking about. Y'all need to be raising hell. And this is against people's civil rights anyway. This isn't nothing legal. Now, they say that including untreated injuries, unawareness of their surroundings, and their physical condition, even if officials have not observed them, is committing a recent dangerous act. Do you hear that? We have civil rights in this country, Eric Adams. You can't just send the police run around like it's freaking Nazi Germany and just rounding people up. That's not the way America works, sir. Every person in New York who cares about freedom and liberty needs to be out there screaming and yelling at the city council meeting. You need to be yelling and shouting down Eric Adams because this, once again, black folks in New York, listen to me. They're going to use this to come after you. And let's continue so you can fully know what Eric Adams is trying to do to y'all. They say officers can then take them into custody. They didn't commit no crime. No crime was committed. Understand? They could take you into custody and then send you to a local hospital for a psychiatric evaluation, according to the statement from Adams' office. They said in the press conference on Tuesday. Now, I said Adams, he's a former police captain, and he said the city has a moral obligation to address the homelessness and mental illness crisis. He said we all seeing around us, adding hospitals will be directed to keep those patients until they are stable, and there is a plan to enter, it said, then into an ongoing, it say, care. It say when pressed about, it say availability of psychiatric beds, it say in city hospitals, It said Adams said Governor Kathy Hochul, it says, agreed to allocate 50 new psychiatric beds, although he said he did not specify where it said they would be staying. He said, we are going to, it said, find a bed for everyone that needs, it said, and comes into what we are doing. So people in New York, Eric Adams wants to just gaff you up using the police to say that you appear to have mental illness. So let me go ahead on and lock you up and put you in the psych ward. Eric Adams, that is bro. If you start doing that, Eric Adams, I'm telling you, you got a problem in your hands in New York, and that would be rightfully so. The police is the worst judge of character about anything. Now, they say a lot of police unions out there are kind of quiet about it. They haven't really said much because the police know where that's going to go. That's going to stir New York up. You can't just gaff people up. Like I said, that's worse than stop and frisk. You telling people, oh, because they're homeless, I'm going to put you in a mental hospital? They're homeless. Doesn't mean they got a mental health issue. Why don't you figure out to put people in stable housing? Why don't you put laws up to stop allowing these companies to come in and jack up the prices so high? Well, people can't afford to live. Instead of solving the problem, aren't you the same guy that opened and said, hey, let me make sure to put the immigrants in a nice hotel? Why can't you put homeless people in a nice hotel? You did it for the immigrants when Greg Abbott was sending them up there. So nice hotels for the immigrants, but for New Yorkers who's suffering, I got a psychiatric bed for you and some meds. Guess what, sir? They still don't have a place to stay. But I guess you're saying, hey, they ain't got enough people going to jail because, the crime rate all over America is dropping. Do you know that? A lot of people not going to jail like they used to. Mass incarceration is a business in America. And this guy is trying to find a way to put people in Rikers Island and everywhere else. This guy is despicable. And y'all are happy to vote for him? This is your so-called black mayor in New York. Boy, I tell you, I'm warning y'all, this is going to hurt black people more than any other group. Black people that just minding their business, one of these white supremacist police can run up on you and just grab you up and talk about you got mental illness. This is what this guy want to do. There's no law on the books for that. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think about Eric Adams. Eric Adams, you crazy as hell. And the people of New York, if you allow him to do this, if you allow this, then something wrong with you too.